What's going on, Paisanos? V here. Come on, you guys. Well, not a market watch today. You know, it's a really weird market because normally after Nationals is a big sell-off, and then after the big sell-off, people start buying back again in order to get ready for the regional season. YuGiOh players will unlock in an early regional invite, so for the most part, the rest of the year, they don't have to attend those goddamn things because they become a top 8 winner mat. So, what's going on with the market? What to buy, what to sell, what's worth it, what's not worth it, and does it even matter as far as certain decks? Well, before we can even look into the market, we have to see this. This is probably the most important piece of data talking about the market. Now, there's a top 64 deck list for the NAWCQ, and obviously you can see over here, almost 50% is Snake Eyes. More importantly, Snake Eye Fiendsmith, but for the most part, Snake Eyes. Why is this so important? Because Konami cannot hit Fiendsmith, actually. So if you own Fiendsmith cards, you're in luck. You are good to go. Konami will not hit Fiendsmith. I highly doubt they would do that. But don't celebrate too much. Because more than likely what this is showing is Konami will definitely hit Snake Eyes. Now, I definitely think Yubel gets off and Tenpai will get off as far as being the big targets to be hit. But they will become the next big decks as far as the beginning of the regional season. Snake Eyes, whether it's Snake Eyes Kashiras, Snake Eyes Fire King, Snake Eyes Pure, if you want to even use the word pure, which is a joke, even with Fiendsmith, well, they're going to get blasted. And we don't really know the future of Snake Eyes other than the fact that it is going to get decimated. Now, there's a couple of ways Konami can do the ban list. I have a fun scenario I'll talk about at the end of the video in which Konami can actually hit almost anything. They can leave Snake Eyes alone in this fun scenario. I'll see up to the end of the video, but I definitely think Snake Eyes is going to get hit. The Fiendsmith engine will still be used, despite, though, its price going down in value. You see, if Snake Eyes is hit, those Snake Eyes players won't be able to play Snake Eyes. So they'll have two options, and only two options. I mean, obviously you have Gimmick Puppet, Ritual Beast, you know, Runic, other decks. I mean, you have more options, but two major options, Yubel and Tenpai. What will they buy? Well, if you look at Yubel, which I have, right over here, Yubel's a really expensive deck. I mean, besides Phantom Yubel, which you need, what, 2 of these, 3 of these, which is about $50, Yubel itself is also really expensive as far as the cards came out of Phantom Nightmare. So I'm not talking about Yubel, the loving defending. No, not that one. I'm talking about the Yubel spell, which I can't find. Where's the Yubel spell? I should have looked this up before the video. I'm just really lazy, I'll be honest with you. I thought it was in Phantom Nightmare. Am I wrong? The Yubel Ultra Rare spell, which is... Oh, here it is. Nightmare Throne. This is going to go up in value. So if you own Yubel, or if you're like, V, listen, I play Snake Eyes, but I have a bunch of Nightmare Thrones, so I sell Nightmare Thrones. Do not sell this card. This will go up in value. Current value of this card right now is roughly around $37 for the Ultra Rare. Yubel is still going to see play. They're not going to hit Yubel. They're not going to hit Fiendsmith. Looking at the stats, even though they should, because I think Yubel's also a degenerate deck, is Yubel as powerful, as seen as much play as Snake Eyes? And the answer is yes, but not enough to really warrant it to be hit, even though it should be hit. So, will they buy Yubel? The answer is probably no, but it really depends. I mean, I doubt they would buy Yubel. I think a smarter person would sell their Fiendsmith stuff immediately. I think they would not really play Yubel because it's still a lot of money. I think they would go the other route, which is Tenpai, which has, oddly enough, a really good Yubel matchup. In this market, we're going to talk about Tenpai and some cards like, well, Trident Dragion. This is going to be the first obstacle, and probably the only obstacle for anyone who's looking to play Tenpai. If you was to get over this one obstacle, the rest of the deck, for the most part, is very inexpensive. You're going to need to get Hydras. They're about $8. Tenpai Dragon Genroku, the new Ultra Rare, it's about $6 to $7. These prices of these two cards will also rise up in value because, once again, it's cheaper. Everyone will play it. It has a good matchup against Yubel, so people are going to want to play even more so. Tenpai Dragon Genroku, QCR. Now, this is what's interesting. It's tanking. I mean, you look at a month view, it's not even slowing down. Current value of the card is roughly around $60. I wouldn't be surprised if this value of this card hits around $45 to $50. Then it might be a good card to buy, because once again, the beginning of regional season, Tenpai might be the best deck. Another card I was seeing side deck play is Power Filter. This card was a side deck option, and it's good against everything except Tenpai. The Tenpai players, one of the players actually sided this card. This card right now, Unlimited version is about $8. And if you want a first edition version of this card, it's going to run you about $13 from a super rare that came out at Duelist Genesis. It has a reprint, which came out in OTS 1 Pack 16. It was a common, and that reprint is, well, it's almost gone. $6, $7. It starts hitting $15. The first big wall is at $15 for a common power filter. Really good if you're playing Tenpai. Once again, it's a good floodgate, and you're going to need a good floodgate because right now one of the best floodgates is Skill Drain, which is used by Snake Eyes. But if you look over here to Yubel, they really can't use Skill Drain as good. Or at all. So looking back over here to Tenpai, another good card is Osam Scolding. Now there's only 31 listings and 26 listings. These will be bought out. No doubt in my mind, these are insane. They're just better skilled. They're better Psalm Judgments. Psalm Scolding says, and this is only a set card in Spell and Trap card zone, when a monster would be summoned, or when a spell trap card or monster effect is activated, pay 3 life points, negate summon activation, and destroy the card. This card has been looking like it's going down lately. Unlimited's about $5. When we get the first editions of the original print, it's roughly around almost near $6. Like I said, it does have another reprint that came out of the 2015 Mega Pack, which is 9 years ago. So this more likely will get bought out as well. You're going to need a Quackimero Drago, another great card for Tenpai. We'll get to other decks in a second. But Quackimero Drago is roughly around, well, you see it over here. Besides the foreign versions, it's 78 and then 79, and that's it. That's all it's on here for Ultimate Rares. You're going to need one. You don't have to buy this one. You can buy the other rarities. Commons are like $2 to $3. Ultra Rares, $2 to $3. You see what I'm getting at here. A cool attack card, by the way, which no one really used, but I think is really good, especially against the Tenpai Mirror Match, is Hilo Spear Dragon. Tenpai Mirror Match, you go into Hilo Spear Dragon. It changes the way the game is. So it says if you control no other cards and your opponent has 4 or less cards in their hand, your opponent cannot declare an attack. Once per, and that's, I mean, it has a once per turn effect, but this is right here. You play against Tenpai, they're going to have 4 or less cards in their hand. They can't swing. Once again, Primal Origins, 2015 Mega Pack. That's it. You just need one of these. There's a bunch of listings, but will they still be around? So going back into this, I think Tenpai will become the new best deck. I think Snake Eyes will get blasted. It will still see play, but I think the new dominant deck will be Tenpai. Now, I also think Yubel's going to be up there as well. I think a lot of Snake Eye players will also move over to Yubel because they still want to do the Fiendsmith combos. But Tenpai still, in my opinion, is just a better deck. Especially since we saw a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players main deck Dimension Shifter, which should be banned. This, like, it should, I don't know how I put it, but Shifter should easily be a bannable card. And if it's not banned, well, we know why. Because Konami's too busy blasting the crap out of Snake Eyes. Now, this is not saying Game of Puppets is a bad deck. I think they're a great deck. Definitely good FTK, and definitely a challenge for a lot of decks. But once again, Tenpai, if they main deck Shifter, and that becomes a new norm, Game of Puppets don't really see play. Ritual Beast, don't care about Shifter, and I think it has a good Tenpai matchup. Yubel is 50-50. I would really favor Yubel a lot more, actually. But, you know, once again, Ritual Beast is good. A lot of players still don't know about Ritual Beast. Runic, the stun deck, is really good against both Yubel and Tenpai. Sometimes. It doesn't draw optimally, which can also happen. So I think Runic's also a very good deck. And of course, there are a lot of other great decks out there. You know, Telements, Branded, Labyrinth. These are great decks. But at the beginning of the regional season, we know that Snake Eyes is going to get hit. It's not a question about it. Now, let me talk real quickly about my fun prediction for a ban list. And I'm saying fun prediction because a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players will get upset with what I'm about to say. With that said, before I talk about that, actually, I'm talking about one more card. Mocharmy Purulia. Is this a good card? Yes, as a side deck. Will this card go down in value? Absolutely. This card is destined to tank in value. Let me show you the price, though. It debuted roughly around $80. Started to fall roughly around $33, $34. And now the card price is roughly around $52. It actually bounced back a little bit. You can see over here the month chart even better. It did have a bounce back. Okay, it was there shortly from $37 to $32. And now has then since bounced back. This card is destined to tank in value. With the next Mocharmy card coming out, that's a better version of this card, Yu-Gi-Oh players are going to want to use that. It's basically like Maxx. So if you hate Maxx, there's a better Maxx that's pay to win, because we know it's going to be Secret and QCR. This card's Secret and QCR, and it's nowhere near as good as the better version, so Yu-Gi-Oh players would rather play the better version than this version. With that said, this is probably one of the best going second cards in the game right now. Mocharmy Purulia, if you open it in your hand, Going second is you activate during the draw phase. Your opponent's guaranteed a normal summon, and you get to draw a card. If they don't draw a normal summon, well, that card basically just said your opponent can't normal summon, which is pretty damn good either way. So yes, it's a really good card now, but when the next set comes out and the new Molcharmy comes out, this card will not see play whatsoever. So we know we're getting another Maxx in the game. I think we can safely say that's going to happen. I always say Maxx should come to 3, and people look at me like I'm crazy, but when Maxx is getting a reprint in the next Speed Duel box, and more likely getting reprinted again in a subset, I do think Maxx has an option to come off the ban list. Once again, we're already getting Maxx already, okay? It's called Molcharmy Pay to Win, whatever the fuck that card is, but we're getting another Maxx. So Konami unlocks another Maxx. They don't really have to hit your Snake Eyes decks. Think about it. If you're playing Snake Eyes, Konami might not have to hit your Snake Eyes. If you're playing Yubel, hey, listen, it might suck more for you, but it's also going to suck for Snake Eyes. If you're playing Tenpai, yeah, a Maxx still sucks, but you mostly activate everything in a battle phase. But it still sucks. In fact, it sucks for a lot of decks, minus the slower, more aggressive decks. Now, why am I talking about these crazy ideas about drawing when opponents special summons? Because it checks decks, so bans don't have to be 30 hits in, out the gate, unbanned, before you even look at limited. I think Konami has 2 options here for our ban list. They're going to do an Atom Bomb ban list, in which everything is going to get fucking bodied. It rarely happens, and it's not good that it happens, by the way. Everyone wants it to happen, but you have to realize, when an Atom Bomb ban list drops, it's basically Konami killing things that you just recently bought in order to set you up for the next year. That is not a good sales technique. That's why Konami rarely does it, because they acknowledge that. They don't want to do Atom Bomb ban lists. But they will. They can. It's an option. Or they make everything powered down by releasing cards like the new Molcharmy card, which is Maxx. I mean, it's clearly Maxx. Like, you got to be damn near blind not to see that. I do think Maxx also obviously doesn't care. You have monsters on the field. The Molcharmy card, you can't have no monsters, but it's Maxx. You go first, you can't use Molcharmy Maxx. You go second, Molcharmy Maxx. Anyway. With that said, if these cards exist in the game, you don't really have to hit Snake Eyes. Think about it. Maxx and a new Molcharmy card makes it so Snake Eyes can play whatever they want. The second special summon, you're now under a condition in which your opponent gets to draw cards. And then you might go, wait a minute, V, hold on. I'm playing Snake Eyes. I'll deck them out until they draw a Lockbird, and then you won't do nothing. So, no, you won't. It's cool. It's cute. But drawing Lockbird checks Maxx and the Molcharmy card. So, no, you won't be doing that shit. I also think another card that could be hit is Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator is a phenomenal card, but it's a very broken card. And I think hopefully we can come to the conclusion, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Playbase, that Crossout Designator is on a healthy card. Yes, we're in a lot of hand trap meta right now. Everyone's playing hand traps, but they're only playing weaker hand traps compared to what's coming out the gate. The new Molcharmy card is a stronger hand trap. We know this, right? Like, the new one is insanely strong. So, Effect Veiler or the new Molcharmy, what are you going to play? Ash Blossom, which is broken, does a ton of things. The Molcharmy is Maxx. Like, you're going to play both. So, I do think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are under the misconception that cards like Crossout Designator is going to be okay. I think that's a horrible misconception. This card is broken. And it slows down what Konami's looking to release, which is a new hand trap. Okay, yes, Perolita is really good for now as a side deck card, but Crossout Designator does counter what Konami's going to release to sell to us. That is what's going to get hit, not what you like or I like. It's gonna be what Konami says. Hey, this is gonna stop sales. How do we ban this again? Banned. I think Crossout Designator would be limited, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was to get banned. Now, you're trying to negotiate and go, V, what about Call by the Grave? That shit's probably going to stay at 1. I want 2, but it's probably going to stay at 1. So, looking back into it, once again, I do think if you buy Molcharmy Perolita, if you want to buy the QCR, which I think it looks great, just wait. Unlike the other it's trying to stabilize, and it's not, I mean, it's going up in value, but it's going to fall back down. We know this already. The Secret Rare is starting to, stumble. It's going to fall back down. The Fiendful stuff is starting to drop because everyone knows it. So, it was insanely expensive. So, I'll show you a good example of the Fiendful stuff because I think it's hilarious. I still think Fiendful is a decent pickup because I don't think it's going to get hit. immediately. I think eventually it might get hit. Maybe it might go the same way of the adventure package, where like everyone thought it was gonna get hit, but it never got touched. It just got power crept out the game. And I do think that Fiendson package can be in the same situation where it potentially can get power crept. That can be a real thing that can happen to it. Fiendson track is already at $12. It's dropping. Silhu Hat Rabbit is $7. It's still dropping. Tenpai Dragon Genroku was like, dude, this card was so much money. It's dropping. Fiendsmith Requiem, a needed one of is $3, which also tracks a one of. Something's gonna play in 3 of this, so that's probably why it maintains value, but it's gonna be going down. I mean, this card was $15, and now it's 7. It's all dropping down in value. So I just want you guys to be prepared as far as the market, what to buy, what to sell. I think, you know, besides my fun prediction, which I do think can happen, which will definitely change the game dramatically, because the meta would actually dramatically change without actually anything being hit that we expected to be hit, which Konami loves doing that to us. They're hitting things that we don't expect to happen. I do think with more cards to punch your opponent for special summoning or spamming the board, I think that Konami is going to do that in order to slow the game state down, so then they can release new deck cores and deck archetypes that obviously skirt that issue. And then they're going to sell it to us, and we're going to buy that because we're Yu-Gi-Oh players, and then we're going to play win and match once we already have an original invite. So I think that's what's happening as far as that. Normally with market watches, I usually say buy, sell, go left and right, but I really want to give you guys input as far as what I think is going to happen. If you want to sell your Snake immediately, I get it. I think this is the worst time to do that. But if you can do that, I still think Snake is going to be a tier 1 deck post-ban list. I think Tenpai is going to blast out of nowhere because of the fact that it does everything within the battle phase. And it has a pretty, like I said, I like the Tenpai matchup versus Yubel. If it was Tenpai versus Yubel, I kind of favor Tenpai more. But I'm not saying Yubel's out just by itself. I think Yubel has a lot of good things it could do. It becomes more of a hand shot war. And if Tenpai wins it, then they more likely going to win. If Yubel gets a draw on Lockboard or some weird kind of combination, Imperium, I think Yubel just cooks Tenpai. So that's what I think about that, guys. Once again, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this. I know normally I do a market watch. We'll have a regular market watch coming up soon. I also have a video talking about fighting in Yu-Gi-Oh, which I think is very important for you guys. So make sure to keep an eye on that video. It's your boy V, and you guys all have a great day.